Paul Ricard next for 6 hours of drama, but let's look at 3 hours in highlights. Slow start by Mauro Engel as the cars accelerated down towards the Rettifilio chicane, and as they worked their way into the braking zone, it was Mago Bortolotti who took the race lead, just ahead of Raffaele Marciello. And although there were 1 or 2 scrapes, they managed to make their way through the first of the chicanes. It was a great battle up front. Off into the gravel though, Ben Barnico, not an error, but he lost gearbox drive and pulled out of the way, making sure he wasn't in jeopardy to anybody else as they came through. Matt Campbell was busy in the Porsche trying to wriggle his way up through the traffic as well as the cars stormed their way on towards the Curva Grande. And so as the cars battled through lap 1, stride came for the Santalok Audi. Alexander Cunha was turned around and he picked up suspension damage. The car effectively out of the race there and then. Mauro Engel, though, in number 4 Mercedes, was soon working his way back into contention. Off the road, however, had gone number 19. That was Hiroshi Hamaguchi having a rare error. He was able to recover and battle on. As the rain came, it was a quandary as to whether to pit early or try to brave it out. Those that did pit at the very start of the rain seemed to lose time, and it shuffled the order accordingly as those then on the wet rubber rejoined. But at the end of the first pit stops, the unscheduled pit stops as they were, the leading Lamborghini ground to a halt on the circuit, and the number 11, Francesco Zorro Ferrari, hit the barrier at the Parabolica and slithered off into the gravel bed. So on the wet road, the complexion of the race changed, and it was looking good for Mercedes until Mauro Engel made a mistake and went straight on up the Escape Road. At the 1 hour mark, it was time to change drivers and to refuel. The cars needed to stay on wet tyres, and as they did so the road started to dry. And wets on a dry road, never a good thing. Just ask Kelvin van der Linde. Or you could ask Mikkel Pedersen in the Porsche. Or you could ask Alex Fontana with the Lamborghini. They all had to pit, but Fontana, having a puncture late in the lap, was able to get in quickly, change onto slicks, and his pace then came alive for the remainder of that stint as the car became much quicker. The Iron Lynx Ferraris also went onto slicks, and Callum Island was soon charging up through the field when the leader had a puncture. Luca Stolz limping back on effectively 3 good wheels, and then 2 more punctures for the Emil Frey Racing team. First of all, the 114 Costa-Lapalainen car. Albert Costa had a puncture. Number 10 BMW got into the side of 159 Garage 59 Aston and turned around the Silver Cup entry as Antonio Fuoco, Callum Island, Davide Rigon's Ferrari was charging up through the field, approaching the final hour of the race. Island having a great time behind the wheel in a very different kind of race. Into the last stint, Dynamic Motorsport leading the way. It was Klaus Bachler behind the wheel. The car had run faultlessly and would continue so to do. There were battles lower down the order then, especially in the Silver Cup, although a little mistake put the number 30 Audi off the road. James Poole having to wriggle his way back onto the circuit. This puncture for Jens Liebhauser meant another interruption to the race. They all bunched up for the last 40-odd minutes behind the safety car. Race back underway. Could anybody catch Klaus Bachler? The answer, as it turned out, was no, as he monitored that gap, as he kept it just enough. But initially there was a great fight between the lapped Albert Costa and Antonio Fuoco. When Costa made a mistake and got out of the way, Fuoco was soon onto the tail of the sister Emil Frey Lamborghini in the hands of Ricardo Fella, but he could never quite make that move for position. Vincent Avril off the road at the second chicane, but he was on target for 13th overall as he tried to fight back. In the end, there was no change for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Gounod ahead of Fella, ahead of Fuoco, and Klaus Bachler for Dynamic Motorsport ran out the winner. The first of the Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS Endurance Cup races for 2021. Thanks for your company from Gemma Scott in the pit lane, David Anderson and John Watson. Goodbye from Monza.